messaging from the Uluru Convention is that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are going to take control back of this recognition process. I think what we heard from all the dialogues was overwhelmingly universal, in that people wanted the tools to make an actual difference to their lives on the ground. We distilled all of the information that the 13 dialogues gave us and came out with a model that involved treaty making, a voice to the Parliament, and a truth commission.
We cannot continue to go on anymore being voiceless and powerless in our own lands. So far we don't have any say in any legislation, any policy at all. So from here, what we're saying to Australia is this relationship between us, this very poor relationship, full of rampant racism and what have you, has to stop. The country has to be mature and sophisticated enough to have an intelligent conversation so we can all move forward and solve this unfinished business between us all, because it's definitely time.
People want to make sure the truth is never forgotten, and that we as Australians, we can talk truthfully about the past. We should never let the past be a burden upon us, but at the same time, it will always be a burden if we don't face up to it. And denial is no solution to that burden. In fact, the weight of that burden increases the more determined we are to try and force a denial and a forgetfulness about it. So one of the really strong messages from all of the dialogues, but emphasised here this week, is that the First Nations want our own people and the rest of Australia to engage in a process of truth-telling, a lot like other societies that have been racked by division and the wounds of the past. A lot of other societies have established truth-telling processes to lay the groundwork for a more united future, and this is what our people have done here this week.
In my work as a United Nations expert, I've been able to look across, the 70 countries of the United Nations who have significant Indigenous populations and see that that kind of voice to the Parliament, that kind of parliamentary institution is quite a conventional way that member states accommodate Indigenous peoples within the state. So it's no surprise to me that that has come up as a significant legal reform option for communities who feel like they don't have any power and they don't have any voice. And what we did hear from the dialogues right around the country is a very strong sense of powerlessness and voicelessness. People feel they don't have community control anymore. They feel like their communities are run from Canberra. And I think that's a really important message for the Prime Minister and opposition leader to hear, that communities feel so profoundly unhappy with the way Aboriginal polities are situated and located within the life of the Australian state.
There's heaps of overlap, heaps of common ground, heaps of common themes, and of course the consensus was around us calling for a voice to Parliament, constitutionally mandated. It is a substantial proposal. It's a critically important proposal. And the message that came out of the dialogues was unanimous on this, and it was confirmed as the priority. But the hopes of our people are that it will be this voice that sets up the next stage of our movement towards agreement making under a Makarrata Commission. The old idea of a Makarrata is more than 30 years old. It's a well-established idea, a Yolngu name for people coming together after a disagreement. And so the concept of the Makarrata has been re-invoked in our struggle, and where the Uluru Statement says that one of the functions of the Voice to Parliament is to advocate with government the establishment of a Makarrata Commission to supervise agreement making between First Nations and governments.